One thing you could say about Donald Trump, though, he has a vivid imagination. He has created a dangerous organization to get the old people excited and fired up, a supervillain called Antifa. And the reason we know Antifa is organized against the government is because their matching signs indicate they are somehow in league with Kinkos.
You're seeing people out there with thousands of signs that all match, pre-bought, pre-put together. They're organized and someone is funding it. We're going to get to the funding of Antifa. We're going to get to the root of Antifa, and we are going to find and charge all of those people who are causing this chaos in Portland and all these other cities across our country.
Yeah, and if we can't find them, we're going to pretend we did. Antifa is just short for anti-fascist. It's not a club you can join. There are no membership dues, but they have matching signs. Okay, well, I guess we better round up these domestic terrorists, too. They look pretty matching to me. Listen, I'm going to tell you this. Spread it around. There's no chaos in Portland. None. There is no chaos in Chicago.
Because when making life or death, war or peace decisions, a president just can't pop off or lash out irrationally. No, we need an adult in the White House.
Jimmy Kimmel went nuclear with his comedy, and Michelle Obama followed up with truth bombs that hit harder than headlines. Trump never saw it coming. The roast turned reckoning that left the world laughing and gasping at the same time.
The president is very busy prosecuting his enemies. His goon squad today indicted his own former national security advisor, John Bolton. He is just brazenly lying about the economy and grocery prices, but he did have a chat with Vlad Putin today.
I hope you'll forgive me if I'm a little frustrated that some of us are choosing to ignore Donald Trump's gross incompetence while asking Kamala to dazzle us at every turn. I hope that you'll forgive me if I'm a little angry that we are indifferent to his erratic behavior.
If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon for more. Jimmy Kimmel lit up the stage with a roast so fierce it could melt gold trim, leaving Trump blindsided in a storm of jokes, chaos, and pure late-night destruction.
Bacteria. You know, sometimes we get so fixated on Trump, we forget there are other disgusting creatures hell-bent on bringing about the end of the world out there.
That being president isn't anything like reality TV. It is not an apprenticeship, and it is not just about fiery speeches or insulting tweets. It's about whether someone can handle the awesome responsibility of leading this country.
1 minute Trump's ranting about election conspiracies. The next Jimmy Kimmel lands a verbal knockout so sharp it echoes through late-night history. And just when the dust settles, Michelle Obama steps in from another stage, calmly dropping truth bombs powerful enough to shake the timeline itself.
But our president, Metamucil World Peace, is having a pretty good week, or he was anyway. Yesterday, Trump had what was easily the most presidential day of his life. He was front and center on the world stage, signing a ceasefire in the Middle East, and then he got home, he started going through the internet, and he just couldn't help himself. Trump made the cover of Time magazine, which he usually loves. You know, before he was president, he had fake Time magazine covers hanging on the walls of his golf club, for real. But this one, I guess, conjured up some mixed feelings because of the photo they used.
Let's start with Kimmel, a man who doesn't warm up, he ignites. From the first line, it was less a monologue and more an explosion of precision humor. It felt like watching someone crack open Pandora's box and then say, well, too late now. Every jab landed like it was forged in steel. Trump's favorite boast about being the smartest guy in the room? Kimmel dismantled that myth with a smirk and turned it into a masterclass in irony.
We know folks are going to do everything they can to distort her truth. My husband and I sadly know a little something about this. For years, Donald Trump did everything in his power to try to make people fear us. See, his limited, narrow view of the world made him feel threatened by the existence of two hardworking, highly educated, successful people who happen to be black.
Suddenly, all those tremendous deals and very stable genius tweets started to look less like leadership and more like the frantic doodles of a man trying to build a sandcastle in a hurricane. But Kimmel's brilliance wasn't just in the burns. It was in the precision. Every line, every pause, every smirk hit with the accuracy of a marksman. It was comedy engineered, almost scientific, as if a team of mathematicians had calculated the exact formula for public humiliation. Trump tried to keep that familiar look of calm confidence, but by the third punchline, even his reflections seemed to lose faith. Somewhere backstage, you could almost hear his aides whisper, "Maybe we should have fact-checked that one." Too late. The damage was total. Each joke hit like a tidal wave, slow, steady, and impossible to escape. What made it devastating was the dual impact. Humor on the surface, truth underneath. Kimmel wasn't just making fun. He was dismantling a persona, one punchline at a time, until even Trump seemed unsure whether this was still a roast or a reckoning.
It's upset him so much that at 1:36 a.m. he posted, "Time magazine wrote a relatively good story about me, but the picture may be the worst of all time. They disappeared my hair and then had something floating on top of my head that looked like a floating crown, but an extremely small one. Really weird." Now, I want to go back to that cover and show you this crown. Okay, that's not a crown, that's the letter M. Only he would see an M on his head and assume it's a crown. If that's not an M, you're on the cover of Time magazine, okay?
Obama, with her trademark calm, dismantles Trump's entire facade piece by piece, every word landing with the quiet force of undeniable truth. No shouting, no theatrics, just precision. Each statement stings more than any insult could. Meanwhile, you can practically see Trump's brain short-circuiting, like a computer hit with too much logic at once. Why isn't she laughing? Why is everyone applauding? His confusion becomes the punchline. It's a scene of poetic chaos. Kimmel firing off chaotic precision strikes while Michelle Obama slices through the nonsense with elegance and control. He's the chaos, she's the calm storm. Together, they form a perfect duet of destruction. Kimmel's jokes crash down like thunder, and Michelle's logic follows like lightning. Clean, cutting, and final. The audience knows they're witnessing something special. The exact moment where ego meets its reckoning. Trump's empire of self-assured delusion begins to crumble. All glitter, no glue. He's left standing there, looking like a man who tried to build a wall out of whipped cream and wishful thinking.
If a candidate is erratic and threatening, if a candidate traffics in prejudice, fears, and lies on the campaign trail, if a candidate thinks that not paying taxes makes you smart, or that it's good business when people lose their homes, if a candidate regularly and flippantly makes cruel and insulting comments about women, about how we look, how we act, well, sadly, that's who that candidate really is. That is the kind of president they will be.
And the jokes just keep rolling. Relentless and razor sharp. Kimmel isn't satisfied with surface-level mockery. He digs deep, excavating Trump's decades of contradictions, sound bites, and public blunders like a comedic archaeologist unearthing the relics of ego past. Every punchline lands with surgical accuracy, each one another crack in the armor of self-delusion. There's no safe zone, no escape hatch, just a slow, spectacular unraveling. On the other side, Michelle Obama operates with the grace of a strategist and the precision of a scalpel. Her words aren't jokes, they're revelations, calm, poised, and devastatingly clear. Where Kimmel disorients, she dismantles. Together, they create a rhythm, chaos and control, wit and wisdom, that traps Trump in his own contradictions. Watching him squirm is like watching someone try to stop a flood with sticky notes, hopeless yet hypnotic. The audience can feel it too. The strange electricity of witnessing truth in real time, wrapped in laughter. By the end, it's more than comedy. It's exposure. Trump isn't just mocked, he's revealed. Stripped of the illusion, the myth, the performance. What's left is something raw, absurd, and undeniably human. And for the first time, everyone's laughing at him, not with him.
Finally being honored for wearing that tie down to your knees. Every morning is a game of who am I mad at today? Is it the Cracker Barrel logo? Is it windmills? Is it Bad Bunny? Is it the Nobel Prize? Or is it the turkey vagina slapping around under my chin? I'm not sure we're even allowed to show his neck on TV. Wouldn't it be funny if the FCC fined us for showing his neck on TV? Trump went on, I never like taking pictures from underneath angles, but this is a super bad picture and deserves to be called out. What are they doing and why? It's like he's a TikTok influencer yelling at her boyfriend for not knowing her angles.
And the best part? He doesn't even realize how it all fell apart. Trump just stands there blinking, frozen in that dazed expression of a man trying to calculate how comedy and reality just teamed up to flatten him. The world watches the spectacle unfold, part political reckoning, part late-night special, like the season finale of a show nobody asked for but everyone's addicted to. The once commanding figure now looks like someone trying to tame a hurricane with a garden hose, tweeting furiously into the wind. Kimmel, of course, is already miles ahead, a comedy grandmaster effortlessly outmaneuvering him in a game Trump doesn't even understand. Every punchline lands like checkmate, and while he's still reeling from the laughter, Michelle Obama steps in with quiet precision. No shouting, no smugness, just the calm authority of someone who knows truth doesn't need volume. Each line she delivers is like silk-wrapped steel, polite but devastating. The kind of words that don't just sting, they stick. Trump's usual defenses, the bravado, the deflection, the endless self-praise, start to fracture. For the first time, he isn't fighting a political opponent. He's facing reality itself, and it's wearing a smile.
Obvious mental decline, his history as a convicted felon, a known slumlord, a predator found liable for sexual abuse, all of this, while we pick apart Kamala's answers from interviews that he doesn't even have the courage to do, y'all. Please, do not hand our fates over to the likes of Trump, who knows nothing about us, who has shown deep contempt for us. Because a vote for him is a vote against us.
And yet, the applause doesn't stop. It grows louder, rolling like a wave he can't escape. Kimmel pushes harder, turning sharp humor into pure spectacle. Out comes the life-sized cardboard cutout of Trump. The tiny hands, the overdone hair, that frozen mid-tweet face, and the audience loses it. It's ruthless, but it's art. Trump's reaction is cinematic. The flailing hands, the blinking confusion, the desperate attempts to salvage dignity while accidentally feeding the comedy beast. Every move he makes to defend himself becomes another punchline. The cruel irony? He's now the source of the laughter he's trying to silence. Meanwhile, Michelle Obama doesn't need props or punchlines. Her words do the damage, quiet, clear, and devastatingly precise. Where Kimmel uses chaos, she uses calm. Each sentence slices through the noise like a scalpel through silk, exposing the truth beneath years of bluster. She doesn't even need to look at him. She's already beyond him, speaking to the bigger picture, to the people who remember what leadership once sounded like. Trump's signature confidence, the swagger, the deflection, the reality show rhythm, starts to collapse under the weight of substance. He's performing an act that no longer works because the trick has been revealed. The spotlight he once craved has turned harsh, unforgiving, illuminating everything he tried to hide. The applause doesn't celebrate him anymore, it buries him.
But I did get some exciting news this weekend. According to a new poll from YouGov, which is a serious polling site, or they were before this, I am more popular than the President of the United States. The guy who keeps saying I have no ratings? Well, that makes two of us. They polled more than 1,000 people, and I lead Trump by 16 points. I'm at +3, he's at -13.
The brilliance of the whole moment lies in its perfect contrast. Chaos meeting composure, satire colliding with substance. Kimmel is pure electricity, unpredictable and relentless, a one-man storm tearing through the stage with punchlines that land like thunderclaps. Every smirk, every exaggerated pause fuels the crowd's laughter until it becomes an unstoppable current. Across from him, Michelle Obama is the embodiment of precision, calm, commanding, unshakable. Her words aren't loud, but they echo longer than the laughter. Where Kimmel is the wildfire, she's the quiet burn of truth that leaves no doubt who's in control. Together, they expose the limits of Trump's bluster. His reactions, the forced smiles, the muttered comebacks, the confused glances, are almost Shakespearean in their unraveling. He looks like a man caught in his own echo chamber, suddenly realizing the walls are mirrors. The audience is transfixed, half laughing, half marveling as the scene unfolds like poetic justice. Kimmel sharpens his jokes into lessons, lacing humor with history, calling out contradiction so effortlessly it feels like rhythm. Michelle Obama, meanwhile, raises the tone higher, turning critique into clarity, every truth landing softly but cutting deep. When Trump tries to interrupt or deflect, she answers with silence, the kind that speaks louder than words. It's chaos versus control, comedy versus composure, and for once, the loudest man in the room has nothing left to say.
Night where she said that you're in over your head and the wrong president for the country.
She was over her head, and frankly, she should have made the speech live, which she didn't do. She taped it, and it was not only taped, it was taped a long time ago because she had the wrong deaths. She didn't even mention the vice presidential candidate in the speech, and she gets these fawning reviews. If you gave a real review, it wouldn't be so fawning. I thought it was a very divisive speech, extremely divisive. And frankly, I wouldn't even be here if it weren't for Barack Obama. See, we're standing in the White House. I wouldn't be in the White House except for Barack Obama because they did a bad job, Biden and Obama.
And everyone can feel it. That rare electric moment when truth and comedy align so perfectly that even laughter feels like justice. The audience isn't just entertained. They're witnessing something. The unraveling of a man who spent his life dodging accountability, now cornered by wit and wisdom working in perfect sync. Kimmel is a storm in motion, firing off jokes with the precision of a sniper and the energy of a man who knows he's on the right side of history. Michelle Obama, meanwhile, is the calm after the lightning strike. Composed, poised, every word deliberate, every pause perfectly timed to let the weight of reality settle in. Trump's reactions, or the sputters, the confusion, the forced smirks, only amplify the spectacle. Each attempt to regain control turns into another comedic setup. Each denial becomes an accidental confession. The beauty lies in the contrast. Kimmel's chaos dances with Michelle's composure, and together they orchestrate a masterclass in dismantling delusion. By the end, Trump isn't just the subject of the roast, he's the embodiment of it. The man who once thrived on attention now finds that every spotlight burns. The laughter is loud, but the silence between it says even more, that the illusion has shattered, and everyone, including Trump, finally knows it.
It's nice, but it feels like, considering the fact that I'm not a convicted felon friend of Jeffrey Epstein, and I've never paid off a porn star or sent a team of masked goons into a park to pull an old lady away from her grandchildren, I feel like my rating should be higher, maybe, than... At this point, finding a toenail in your salad has a 7-point lead over Donald Trump. And I hope he doesn't see this. I hate to, I don't like to upset him.
And somehow, even as Trump flounders under the weight of his own spectacle, the moment transforms into something far greater than a simple roast. It becomes a lesson in contrasts, a live demonstration of truth versus theatrics. Kimmel and Michelle Obama, operating from two entirely different worlds, converge in perfect balance. Kimmel embodies the storm, raw, unpredictable, unfiltered, wielding humor as both sword and mirror. Michelle, on the other hand, is the calm center, her poise a weapon sharper than any punchline, her logic a quiet form of domination. Together, they reveal an unshakable truth. Ego will always crumble when confronted by intelligence, wit, and grace. The audience senses it. The cameras immortalize it. And Trump, blinking and fumbling, seems to grasp, if only for a second, that he's witnessing his own mythology collapse in real time. When the laughter finally fades, what's left is silence, the kind that carries consequence. Trump may still be standing, but the illusion is gone. His image, once inflated by bluster and bravado, now lies exposed, audited by comedy, dissected by clarity, and sealed in history's permanent record. Kimmel and Michelle Obama didn't just entertain. They redefined the battlefield. One through chaos, one through composure. And in that perfect collision, they proved that noise can dominate a moment, but truth will always own the aftermath.